What you just said took me to Hebrews 11. Hebrews 11 is called the Hall of Faith, right? And it lists man after man, even some women who lived a life of faith. And at the very end, it says this, these people are people of whom the world was not worthy. They were people of whom the world wasn't worthy. And it's hard to become a person of whom the world isn't worthy and still be loved by the world. You got to choose, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't have both. You're either somebody of whom the world isn't worthy and you're living completely sold out for the cause of Christ, or you can be loved and have the accolades and the claps. And I just wanted to encourage somebody with this, because this encourages me a lot, is that Jesus never promised everyone would love you. He promised he always would. He promised he always would. And I think we get it flipped. There's only one man who has promised to never leave us or forsake us, right? And I think he's the first person we take our eyes off of, and he's the person we discount first. These words we discount first. And because I'm a preacher, my brain instantly goes to stories, but I'm reminded of Matthew 14. Matthew 14, famous passage. The disciples are in a boat. There's a boisterous storm, and Jesus comes walking on the water. And all of a sudden, Peter sees him out there. And I've read this passage so many times. I'm a pastor's kid. You have to understand this. So I come by this honestly. I didn't choose this life chose me, okay? So I don't know anything else. So I've read this passage, and I remember I read it recently, and I could have sworn that it was Jesus who asked Peter to come on the water, but then I realized it was Peter's idea. Peter walking on the water was Peter's idea. It wasn't Jesus. Jesus simply said, come. So in a sense, it was Peter's prayer request to walk on the water. And all Jesus did was say, I'll make it happen. And notice this. Peter had his eyes completely on Jesus when he was making the request, and took his eyes off Jesus once Jesus granted the request. And I think that's where we get off. We're really good at looking to Jesus while we're asking for the provision. We're really good at looking to Jesus when we're asking for the relationship. We're really good at looking to Jesus when we're praying for the ministry to take off. But what about once it does? What do you do when it happens? You gotta stay focused on the one who started it all. You know, he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion to the day of Jesus Christ. The problem was, it was always stormy. It was storming when Peter asked. Can I tell you, people have always been mean. They've always been difficult. They were difficult when you were praying to be able to touch them. Why are you surprised when you begin to step out and they do the same thing to you? We got to keep our eyes on Jesus.